welcome to Collector Cars. I'm Lance, your host. Oh, I'm sorry, that's for the end of the show. We have with us tonight, hey, Don, you never know, man.
I know,
You know,
I know.
there's no telling here. And especially with this
I know, with this crew you got, yeah.
People they've let in the studio, you know what I'm saying?
I know.
Tonight we have with us Mr. Don Vicoli. How you doing,
Hey.
my friend?
Good to see you again, Lance.
All right.
Happy to be here.
And our resident photographer, real estate agent, he's got a whole, when he does cards, he just drops it and the whole thing falls out, all the different things he's got.
Good evening, Lance, and welcome to Collector Cars.
And this will be our last broadcast of 2010. So we're going to wrap up the year here tonight. Don, you are with Honor Flight,
Yes, I
which
am.
is quite an organization. When I first heard about it, I met you down at Wendy's in Northport.
That's correct.
And we had a gentleman there who was a World War II veteran, was in his mid to late 80s. And you told me all about the program, that basically you fly these guys to Washington and so forth. And it really touched me because, I mean, these guys fought, well, they fought in what, World War II, and most of them in World War II, Korea?
You know, we've taken some that have done World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. So triple headers.
Right, where
But-
they've actually done them.
Yeah,
multiple wars.
career people that have done all three.
Yeah.
But I am happy to say, since November of 2007, when we actually incorporated in the state of Florida as a nonprofit organization, we have taken 278 World War II veterans up to Washington, D.C. to view their memorial.
Isn't that fantastic?
Oh, it is.
Well, you know, it broke my heart when you told me that you had a waiting list, that there were so many on the waiting list that wanted to do this, want to go. It takes a lot of planning. You've got to get an airplane. You've got to get the funds to do all this and so forth. And you don't have any federal funding. It's not like Uncle Sam is saying, hey, take the boys to, you know, do something nice for our guys that fought for us.
You know, it's unfortunate, but no, I do not have any federal funding.
Yeah.
I do not have any local, state, or county funding. And as you know, in Southwest Florida, we have no corporate headquarters in Port Charlotte. So I depend on people like you who provide an opportunity for us to raise some money.
You may not have federal funding, but you got a bunch of car guys that are behind you 100%.
You're not kidding. I'd rather have them than the federal anyways.
There you go. There you go. And here's the deal. You had 100 cars last year. And I got a little complaint to lodge. Last year we did this on the coldest day, I think, in the history of Florida.
I know you did.
And Debbie wanted to put my trailer down by the water with that wind coming off oh, boy. I mean, even I was in a ski jacket and gloves.
Right, I
and
understand.
couldn't talk because my lips were numb.
I know. But I talked to the big guy,
Okay.
and I put my order in.
Okay.
He said he'd do it, he'd take care of us this time.
All right.
So if I'd been a good boy, maybe he'll take care of us.
There you go. And I'll tell you something else. I want to share a little something that Debbie told me. When they went, each of the guys that you're taking, each of the veterans that you're taking, World War II vets, have to have, there's so many, and they have to have a chaperone per so many, because some of these
Right.
guys are in wheelchairs, and you know they're having a hard time. It's you know, because it's simply because of their age. And Debbie told me a story. She said, Lance, you would not have believed it. And Doug, if you would do me a favor and come in on this picture over here, that when these vets, these World War II vets, came off the plane, she said the cheers, the clapping, the reception that they got, and there they all are standing by the
Iwo
Jima
Right.
monument. Isn't that phenomenal?
It is. And every flight we've had, there's a group in Washington, D.C. that meets every honor flight. And if there are not 300 people at the top of the ramp waiting to cheer and clap, there is something wrong that day.
Yeah.
That's a normal thing for at least 300 people to be there to greet these heroes.
Yeah, that's fantastic, my friend. Just an incredible program. You know, I guess you've got Debbie hooked now. She has this disorder with her right arm. She keeps
Yeah.
doing this. You know, and every time I talk to her, I'm now on another committee. So
Well, you know, I would say she's easy, but you know what? Wait a minute.
In a manner of speaking.
In a manner of speaking.
But she realizes what the program
Yeah.
is, and it's hard
Yeah.
to say no. I mean, I've told everybody,
Yeah.
if you come on one flight, you're hooked.
It's well, her husband Barry, that she lost her husband not too long ago, and Barry was a veteran. Barry served in two branches. He served
Right.
in the Marine Corps and in
And
the
the Air Force. Right.
So this is carrying on what her and him would be doing now.
Oh, yeah.
You
yeah.
know, and she is an incredible worker with all of this. I want to give her credit for everything that she's doing. Now, I understand that you're not the director of this now, that you've kind of stepped aside, or
No,
you're the chairman of the show, but you're not.
what I'm doing is I don't plan on making any more flights myself.
Okay.
You know, my health has been up and down lately, and
Right.
It takes a lot out of me. So I've been breaking in some new blood
There you go.
to handle things up in D.C.
It's the right thing to do. Let the young guys take over. 'Cause
Well, wait a
you
minute.
wanna
He's not
keep
young. He's older than I am.
He's older than you
He's
are.
in better health, and he's
You're
easy
going in the
too.
wrong. You're going in the
Yeah.
opposite direction.
Yeah,
Don.
but he's easy. He
You
raised
need
his
young
hand.
blood. He raised his hand. I see you have some pretty stringent requirements over there. All they need is a right arm.
People call me and ask me, what does it take to be a guardian? And I say, are you breathing? A breathing, living person?
There you go. There
That's
you
it.
go. And you know what? From what I heard from Debbie and from Frank DiStefano that went, Bruce Olmsted, a lot of the car guys have
Yep,
gone as
yep.
guardians and so forth. And it amazes me that they all come back saying, wow, what an
Yeah, oh, yeah,
experience with these
yeah.
guys, you know. So it's quite a thing that you do. We're going to show you a little bit later, you know, the trophies that they're doing for the show. On a freezing cold day like that, to pull 100 cars, and actually you had a take of $7,200 that you raised,
$7,200.
which that sends a lot of guys to Washington.
It does. It costs me about $350 a person.
Per person
Right.
to go.
So you think about that. That was
So with that show, the car guys were able to sponsor quite a few guys to go.
what's that,
Let's
20,
put it this way.
20 guys?
20 guys that might not have had that opportunity.
Right.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yes, absolutely.
And I'll make a little announcement because you don't know, but I've told, I think, everybody else in the world. My son is being sworn into the Marine Corps on Tuesday.
Oh, great.
So he's going in.
Semper Fi.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Semper Fi. And he's all excited and scared, and, you know, he's got every emotion going that there is. But we'll see how he does, and I'm sure he's going to have a great experience with it.
If Debbie had told me that, I'd have brought my number 2 guy, who is Sergeant Major, USMC retired, Richard Fraterelli.
Okay.
Yeah, he might have given you
cool.
some words of wisdom.
There you go. There you go. Plus, he won't be on my couch any longer, so that's a
Well,
that's
you
that's a
get to
good
break the
thing.
dinner plate.
That's right. And he's gonna be PO'd if he watches this and hears that. Anyway, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little film clip. We've got Mr. Bill Merkins did Island Bay Fest. It's now actually called Bay Fest. I can't get off can't teach an old dog new tricks. Bay Fest. And what you basically did was just took a picture of every car that was there, that was in attendance. It's limited to 100 cars. So, Mr. Perkins, show us some Bay Fest. And here it is, Bill Merkins Bay Fest 2010.
So this first, we're just going to kind of run through and just talk about Bayfest, and you know, we can't really talk about the cars enough because there was over 100.
When did this thing start, Bill?
Well, about 8 years ago is when they started the Bayfest, and the first year it was just a festival. The second year they had a guy who was right there on Pine who had a couple cars, and he brought them out. And then the third year, which is now 6 years ago, they asked me whether I could get some cars. And I said, well, you know, sure, what do you want? You know, well, I know 25 would be nice. Well, the first year we had 60. Second year it grew to 100. And then we had to start putting stops on it because there's just no more room on the
Right.
street.
You're limited. You do have some
Yeah.
limitations to it, which is why they got to sign up early to enjoy this.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
You've got cars coming from, where does that go? There's one car that comes, I know, he comes
you'll see the green Packard. He comes from Orlando.
from Orlando.
Yeah. So he brings his
that's-
family
that's
over and
going
spends the week. And you can see this group is all pretty much from the AACA club.
They had a big contingency.
They did.
That came
They
up.
did. I think they
Yeah.
had like 18 cars that came.
They love it. And those 18 people, the first year they had, what, 10?
Yeah.
The next time they came, they had like 15.
14, yeah,
14,
yeah.
and now they had 18. I'll bet you next year they bring close to 30
Yeah,
cars because
yeah.
they all loved it.
And it's a, it's a good show. The interesting thing about it is that the festival really likes to have the car guys there because it increases the amount of people that show up at the Bayfest. And the car guys like it because it's something different. You can park, you can go down and check out the vendors, and you can have a meal, you can have a margarita and
They've
crab
got
cakes.
live bands. They've got all
Live
kinds
bands
of
all
stuff
day.
happening
Yep,
down there.
yep, exactly. So it's something that has turned. When they first approached me on it, was something I've always wanted to do, is a car show and a festival, because I just think those two things go really well together. We got a lot of great car shows. We got a lot of great causes for car shows, but a lot of them, are just kind of parking lot situations, and as a result of that, there's really nothing much to do. And in this particular case, there's a lot to do. And I get a lot of, cars that we don't really see at the car shows coming to this. People who are out on the island who hear about it and, just say, hey, there's somebody, Bob Castle's old car.
Yeah, haven't seen that in a while.
We
the
don't see
Badger.
that. Yeah, the Badger, we haven't seen that in a while. So it's good they come out to it.
Well, how many, I sit in the trailer and I watch, and Bill, the number of spectators is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, they're almost elbow to elbow at times coming through there.
Their numbers have increased over the years from, where they were getting 3,000, 4,000 up to, now they're estimating close to 10. And, and of course, weather has some bearing on it. Of course, it's October, so the weather's pretty good. This year was fabulous.
Oh, another gorgeous day.
Yeah, yeah. And the committee does a great, it's interesting. Everybody's kind of got their own little thing that they do. I handle the car show. They know that I know how to do car shows, so they just let me run with it and, go.
I always feel bad because, I have to, it's always on the third Saturday. That's been an established thing for years now with Bayfest.
Right.
And I have to do Wendy's, and the only way for me to get from Anna Maria Island to Northport without multiple speeding tickets is to leave at 2 o'clock. And even then, I'm pushing it.
Yeah.
And I always feel bad because I've never been there for the presentation and everything else, and but it just happens.
And
to
they
be the
have
way it is.
Lepensi Plumbing is somebody who sponsors the car show every year and helps us out with some of the things. And so they pick out one of the trophies. We have the Anna Maria Island Sun, who sponsors the whole festival. They have the photographer, Tom. He picks out a car every year. And then we have the committee pick out a car.
I
So
understand you even had your personal choice. Here's a couple of the guys that work
yes,
over there.
yes.
And I think Lepensi's logo is coming up.
Yeah.
Lepensi Plumbing. You even got to pick your own sheriff's deputy for the day.
We did indeed, and that was a blessing.
And who does he pick?
Yeah.
A car guy.
Well, Dwayne Dennison was out there for us, and that really made a big difference because he not only is a car guy, but he could control the cars
Oh, absolutely.
better, and everybody respects Dwayne and
Yeah.
knows him.
Yeah.
And so we had really no incidences this
So he's
year.
like part of the show.
He's part of the show. Both his, of course, his car, his wife's car, and his in-laws' car is there. And so we had a good, easy kind of run this year with it. The only thing that's always difficult is parking, because you got to park each car individually, one at a time,
Right.
because of the street.
It's difficult getting him in, but
Yeah.
once everybody's in, it's just a phenomenal
Yeah.
time.
So we had another jamming crowd. I'll tell you, we cut it off at 100, but it always seems to be
Always goes
Bill-
a few more.
a few more than that.
You never know when Lance messes up and makes a final announcement. Hey, come on up and join us
Yeah,
at Bayfest tomorrow. After he's got his limit,